And I have what I needed set up. As we are coming back, this time, not quite a beat of game, but we do now have a Sea East game, seeing Zul'jin Distillery. Oh, my words are slipping. Let's go. This is going to be a fun one. Versus Icecrown Citadel Raiders. Again, an org that I sometimes cheerlead for. This team I haven't seen as much of. They haven't had as many casted games. That's why I did pick up this cast. So we should see where this goes. My name is Boss, and we shall see where the teams, what led us to the first map of Battlefield of Eternity. We do see that this, I should say with every replay cast I don't actually know who map picks or first picks each map, because I want to go into it as blind as possible. And here we just see that Battlefield of Eternity was picked. I don't know who picked it, but it was indeed picked. Anyway, we do see that the side of Zul'jin Distillery did ban Volskaya Industries and Sky Temple, while Icecrown Citadel Raiders did ban Towers of Doom and I can't remember the name. I'm looking at it. I just keep thinking spiders, and it is indeed Tomb of the Spider Queen. Right, without cutting any more time and at least stalling for any more time, let's get into our first map of Battlefield of Eternity. Right, we are getting in. On the left-hand side, we see Zul'jin Distillery. We see Xerxes. Wait. Something feels wrong. Something feels wrong! Give me a brief moment, as I believe I have things around the wrong way. Sorry about this. I can just simply... Where is my control panel? Did that fix everything? It did? Let's see. Give it a few moments so I can see it. It did fix things. Oh, control panel button, thank you. As I do remember seeing that Xerxes is indeed on the side of Icecrown Citadel. I want to double check this. Sorry about the quick delay. I'm just checking rosters so I don't mess this up even further. Okay, I am right. Quick breath. Reset. I'm saying this one out loud so you can tell. Anyway, Xerxes is on Greymane, an excellent race series. Chelsea on the Chromie. Zin 7E? Zin 7? I don't know. On the Anduin. Pina Colada on the EGC. And Krinovast on the Sonya. On the right hand side of Zul'jin Distillery, see Cowboy Kyle on Artanis. Joanna DeWitt on Joanna. Be Fresh on Raynor. Led on Brightwing, and last but certainly not least, Ankle Shot on Li Ming. Something that has been a bit of a bane of my existence on this map, but we'll see where this goes. We do see the first just general scuffle coming out over the bottom lane, as we do see Pina Colada taking a reasonable amount of damage, getting a little bit of CC from DeWitt. However, does have a good little bit of early sustain with his armor as well as his self-heal on his Eater, as we did see it just happen there. Unfortunately, like, yes, I know top lane happens. I play off lane. But nothing much happens up here. As much as I love these guys, the action just is down here. Again, we just see these general waves being cleared out. It's never truly interesting in the first bit. As we just see, oh, an excellent side actually coming on to Be Fresh. Be Fresh going down, and Pina Colada, you almost made me a liar of myself, as we did get a lot of interesting action just there. Oh my word! Okay, but again, we're just going back to that general quick scuffle. Calm, quick scuffle, calm, quick scuffle, calm, as we do see the side of Zul'jin Distillery wanting to take this camp. Ironskin having to be poffed by Joanna, but not much coming out of it. Excellent time stop. Actually saving Be Fresh for a little bit there, as Pina Colada doesn't hit their stun because of it. DeWitt stepping up to take down the wave, does actually give it down relatively quick. Excellent side coming out Joanna. Joanna losing a lot of health, and Xerxes is able to take out Joanna. That should give the side of Icecrown Citadel Raiders the time to actually take over this camp, which they do capitalize on. Alright, let's look at what we have. A very stand talents across the board actually start out with. We do see a lot of racing talents coming out from the side of Zul'jin Distillery. We do see Amateur Opponent on the Artanis, as well as Exterminator Raynor, something that does bonus damage to mercs, minions, monsters, and elite enemies. The immortals on this map being those things. Being at least one of those things, I'm not sure what it's classified as exactly, but it is what it is. Anyway, we see the side of Icecrown, Citadel, ICCR, I'm going to call them. It's just easier. It's easier for me. Taking this bruiser camp roughly right time as we are about to see Immortals called exactly now. These camps very important, almost acts like a second objective during this. Does a lot of push in the lanes as the dogs that the shaman summon eats a lot of the minion damage, and those dogs keep getting resummoned once they die. We do see this also getting echoed on the side of Zul'jin Distillery. So again, pretty sound stuff. Interesting to see that we're seeing Orb build coming out from the Li Ming thus far. However, we do see Aether Walker, so we're probably seeing a Calamity build. Immortals down, let's see where we go. We do see Bree Fresh starting the race early. Pina Colada has been now found in bush, does get stun off from Joanna. Joanna just does back out, just to safety. As we do see the side of ICCR trying to defend this. We should note here that let's go into team comps while we're just having a little scuffle. We do see that Zul'jin Distillery has leaned more heavily into the objective phase, while the side of Icecrown Citadel Raiders does actually lean in team fight and does prove that there with Brightwing going down very early on. And that will have to be Zul'jin Distillery just backing out, counting for their losses and just getting that poke in. However, unfortunately, death timers being very short at this current point in the game does mean that respawns do come back. However, that was just a bit too quick, and Brightwing did not quite have phase shift up. As you see, just Red trying their best to race. However, Greymane, very good team fight, and does not have to sacrifice any talents to do the... Let me retry that sentence. Does not have to sacrifice any of his normal talents to have excellent race. We do see the side of ICCR sliding onto Raynor as Raynor goes down very quick. Cowboy Kyle just deciding to walk up. D-Wit moves into the middle of the team, feeling very brave considering they are missing a very consistent damage source. Brightwing eats some Sandblast from Chromie, however, not much happening. Pina Colada does slide. Iron Skin, however, stops the stun from coming out. Cowboy Kyle does Q in, does not decide to use the swap, and we shall be seeing Objective being slowly burnt by Xerxes. That orb does a lot to help get the objective down, and we do see the first objective going down to the side of Zul'jin Distillery. Something that their comp very much needs to do, as that is what they are built for. And now we'll just see everyone just return to the normal pace of off lane. And now the objective goes down. So, should mention, for people who are less familiar with the game who are in my chat at the current point in time, the Mortal gets a shield based on how much health they have remaining by the end of it. Because the Red Immortal had what looked like about a quarter to a third health remaining, meant they had a quarter to a third health worth of shield. However, that will still be ripped apart relatively quick as we only see the front walls going down. Excellent cleanse by the Brightwing, as we do just see a nice little disengage here. Again, we're just going back to relatively safe play. We did see a few, what could have been very costly deaths on the side of Zul'jin Distillery, however, not much came of it. Shift was used by the Brightwing. We should note that she does have cooldown reduction on it, so we'll get it back sooner than normal. However, it will not be up for at least another 20 seconds or so, depending on how many minions die next to her. Bottom camp is being called for, and we do see a lot of posturing just happening here, going, who will do it first, who won't do it? We do see the Hourglass sitting on this objective, not the objective, on the channel point, meaning that they do have vision of whether this camp gets done or not. Going back to so DeWitt getting caught out a little bit, but Pina Colada decides not to slide into the enemy gate. Bit wiser than how I play ETC. I'd just be like, yep, excellent, slide, and just blow up in this area. Excellent from DeWitt, getting the stun off from Pina Colada. Pina Colada's actually taking a reasonable amount of damage from the Li Ming orb, losing about a third of their health. However, it does get the slide off onto Li Ming. Li Ming does not take much as a minion wave was able to soak up the Chromie Sandblasts. We see again a ping just happening in this area. Not quite sure what for, but we do see 10s coming through from the side of Icecrown Citadel Raiders, as we do see camps being pressed up. And we should see both of these getting put out by both teams. Yep. Again, essentially a second objective. You almost need it in this coming phase. But we will see both Alarian and Belif just rotated on too lately, as the teams just want to deal with some shamans first before they get to the bosses in the middle, so to speak. Right. We just see racing going on for the top. For ICC, no, ICCR, Zul'jin just... Ooh, we're getting tongue twistery now. Zul'jin Distillery just poking at that race, getting it further and further towards their side. However, ICCR does come in and is able to bully them off. Li Ming just getting that poke and hitting ETC and hitting a lot of magic missiles onto the ETC when it was tended for. Alarian doesn't do much. DeWitt going down here. Actually, that would be ETC going down first while Chelsea actually uses the timeout and will be stranded. Not much that the allies can do for it, and yep, she will indeed go down. Krinovar stepping up for someone on quite low health. Zin 7E does get swapped back in, and nothing much comes of it. However, we should mention that during that fight, Raynor was racing and was able to take the objective, at least of a halftime show. Right, let's see what happens here. Yep, we just see that the side of Zul'jin Distillery just want to race. Perfectly understandable. They have two characters there, just basically, we race. We hear Cursed Bullet come out, sounded like a miss. Cowboy Carl does take a lot of damage. Excellent phase shift coming out from the side of Brightwing. So in story, however, Mosh does catch out free. Krinovar getting Cowboy Carl getting low, however, Pina Colada also getting quite low on the other side. Brightwing doing their best to get Cowboy Carl up as they are floating around awkwardly in awkward space. So get slid, and Xerxes does dive onto him. Usually that means from a Greymane a lot happens. We did see Leap come in from the Sonya. ET goes down first, however, followed up by Greymane. This is an excellent turnaround by the side of Zul'jin Distillery. However, they do lose Artanis on the way out. As all the while through this, Belif, the immortal of the side of Zul'jin Distillery, has been pushing and was able to get front gate. Is getting a reasonable chunk of the front fort. As we see, I do like this play of Zul'jin Distillery pushing the opposite lane and able to get at least one fort out of this, if not two, depending on what Belif does here. Yep, it was a double fort phase from the side of Zul'jin Distillery. Excellent stuff. DeWitt just choosing to back out now that they felt the Cursed Bullet hit their body. And we see low resources coming out of this tank. Something not ideal. Excellent. I like that the siege camp being taken. Both siege camps actually being taken by both Cowboy Carl with that amateur opponent, as well as just this camp getting ripped apart. I imagine DeWitt will decide to get resources soon. Yep, we see it happening there as we see what looks to be an aggressive rotation up to the top camp. However, Cowboy Carl does get it before they're able to get there and rotates out the safe way. Excellent call from whoever pinged that. However, Cowboy Carl is able to live another day, deciding not to die with the camp. We do see all five members of ICCR holding top. However, they are deciding to back, considering they see a rather large push happening in the bottom lane. Zul'jin Distillery, knowing this as they did have vision from both Artanis and Joanna, decide to back out. Excellent call by them. Excellent teamwork happening on both sides, actually. Getting some very good fights, some very good macro. However, each objective is still going over to the side of Zul'jin Distillery. Nothing much can actually happen on map currently, especially with the side of Zul'jin Distillery, as I said, as the waves are getting relatively pushed in. Blue team is able to catch up during this. Sorry about that, just getting a dry throat. Just need to take a quick breath. A little quick drink. Yep, camps are being pushed out by both sides is really the only thing that can happen. We do see a lot of pressure actually happening up here, and this Shaman camp would only help empower that pressure. We do see good timing coming up both sides as Shaman camps will be meeting up with these waves. We see a very defensive start by both sides. No team wanting to commit to this first fight. Even though I believe that ICCR should be trying to commit to this fight as their comp does favor it for now at least. And we do see that ETC does have Mosh up. And we do see that the side of Zul'jin Distillery does have that engage lockdown that they want to use. Good blind getting dismount onto at least the ETC. However, ETC does decide to clear. We see a slight advantage in experience for Zul'jin Distillery. However, not much will come of it as of yet. That was just defense of a Shaman Cap. Which unfortunately now we see Krinivas going off to do. If Zul'jin Distillery see this, we should see what they decide to do. Yep, they decide to push in. They went Sonya's top. Time to go. DeWitt stepping in between both Xerxes and Pina Colada. Xerxes is pulled out to safety. Pina Colada was also able to slide. And that will be a very short fight. However, that is pulled down from Anduin. That's a 75-second cooldown. It was worth it as the death didn't happen, but we shall see what happens in this next team fight. We saw Reynolds Raider just being a bit annoying. Just peppering down the people. As we see now, ICCR pushing in, able to bully out the side of Zul'jin Distillery a little bit despite the level deficit. DeWitt stepping up, able to get a decent amount of a little stun onto Krinivas. However, that Leeming Orb gets a good chunk out of a Bruiser. And Sonya actually quite healthy for Bruiser, still eating a lot. The 20 armor from ETC proved helpful there as also getting hit by a Leeming Orb. Interesting build from Leeming actually. Sorry, now that I'm looking at it, because a lot of posturing is happening while people are waiting for 16s. Interesting that we see Seeker coming out, but that is typically the build, the talent used for Race on Immortal. Does a lot of damage if all 3 hit. Excellent Polymorph coming up from Brightwing, stopping Pina Colada from sliding early. Shield stunning them down, good lockdown, keeping out. Pina Colada has to step out backwards. Xerxes getting light bombed, indecisive. Seems like a little bit of a mixed call there as they didn't know to stay on the enemy team and has to back out themselves. Swap coming out, hitting the Xerxes, however, excellent pull coming out from Anduin again. And that is a 4-man mosh. We see Raynor Q coming in and interrupting it. Cowboy Kyle getting a bit stuck by the slowing sands, but ultimately fine. And that will be the first half of the race going over to the side of Zul'jin Distillery yet again. Again, we're just seeing 16s not quite coming through, but we do see that ICCR are wanting to fight this. They're getting very aggressive on this, just going, yep, this is our Immortal, we want to protect it. However, we do see that Zul'jin Distillery is closer to 16s. Excellent spear W onto angle shot by Krinivas, however, not much comes from it as Leeming can just blink out if she gets in too much danger. And we do see that they did pick the Illusionist, which if they get hit with too much damage, they are able to blink out immediately. However, it does not stop stuns. Excellent slide by Pina Colada, getting the light bomb onto the backline. Angle shot getting relatively low. However, it will be Artanis going down first. Oh my gosh, Krinivas getting hit by full free of the arcane orbs, magic missiles, getting them very low as that bonus damage from the 7 did come through. We see 16s come through to the side of Zul'jin Distillery, doing actually a lot of damage to the Immortal and doing a lot of damage to anyone it hits. We see a lot of standard things. Actually, Raynor is doing a relatively interesting talent of Rallying Cry, getting a higher attack speed. Okay, I do like it. It's not a very obvious talent. However, Be Fresh will be losing his life here. Was that W talent the right pick? We'll be yet to see. However, we do see ICCR deciding that, yep, now that we are up, this is our Immortal, and they get their first Immortal phase of the game. And it will be going top. As we see that, for anyone who doesn't know, who is still in the chat, basically, the Immortal goes to whichever lane is more heavily defended. As we see, there is more structure up on the top lane than the bottom lane, as this has got a very low tower, a missing gate, and a moderate tower, and this has a high tower, a moderate tower, and still has the gate. The Immortal goes up there. As we see a very good, we see a 4-man defense coming out, missing Raynor a lot of their damage. Oh, excellent mosh, however, is interrupted by the, not repulsion, it's never repulsion at 10, wave of force interrupting mosh, however, light bomb still hits and does manage to get the Artanis. We see this next wave coming up, and, well, Raynor has just gotten back while Chromie has been split pushing and getting this extra soak down here, getting a lot of siege done. Ilarian is now pushing on to the front gate. Does get at least a little bit of damage off. Pina Colada eating a lot of damage early on. It gets about half their health taken off. However, it does not go down. Alarian getting a lot of work here. We see the gate go down, and yep, that is the calling point of ICCR going, we have gotten what we wanted, we can leave. Right, as we're going back, so Chromie, excellent choice to rotate back out. They did not know where they were on map, so making the safe play, deciding to back up. ICCR pinging for this top siege camp now that everyone has shown pot on the side of Zul'jin Distillery. This is where vision game is very important. Zul'jin Distillery may not be sure where ICCR is now, but they should have a general idea. Sorry about that. I should really mute myself before I make awkward drinking sounds. Okay, we're just seeing general camps happening. It's a little bit of defense, a little bit of camp taking, but however, we do see an very aggressive... No, if they decide to just back out. Oh, we are seeing a very aggressive tall call as the side of ICCR. Thought about Bruiser Camp, but went, all of Zul'jin Distillery are above us. Maybe not the best timing to do that. Maybe if we have one more down. Pinnacle... Everyone deciding to half. Interesting. Maybe it's because they saw the top being driven, but changed their mind now that they see Immortal being spawned. And yep, they will rip the Bruiser Camp. Again, very smart place. Oh, we see the attack speed bonus from Zeus is actually at 16. This should help burn through Immortals A much faster, but also tear through health of people such as, well, any of the enemy team actually. And we see just patience being on this, capturing this objective. However, they shouldn't be too patient as we see Zul'jin Distillery walking up, and it is taken before they can get there. Fuck, sorry. Just, these drinking sounds, I need to take a quick break after this map, but we'll continue on for now. The side of Zul'jin Distillery were in a much better position to start the race, however, they do have to respect the team fight value that is ICCR, with both Leap being an excellent engage tool as well as Slide Mosh, which is up for the side of ICCR. However, it's not able to stun because was not able to Mosh due to the Balith's big AoE stun happening. It would have just cancelled the ultimate. As we see the side of Zul'jin Distillery yet again stepping up to this objective. We're getting very aggressive on plays here, considering neither team's at 20. Excellent Light Bomb Leap. However, Mosh is interrupted by, again, the Wave of Force. Krinavas getting relatively low. It has to spin out and is able to get out of B-Fresh's range. Ooh, that Hourglass does catch up Pina Colada. However, no one is close enough to... Chromie, that was your Hourglass. Why'd you do that to your poor tank? My mouth is getting relatively dry. I just need to finish this off, and then we'll keep going. DeWitt getting very aggressive on Pina Colada. However, losing a lot of health for this. Does pop Laws of Hope, getting that extra heal off, which they have been stacking throughout the game. Getting relatively up there, considering it is a two-lane map. Pina Colada looking for the slide, unsure about who they're going on. There seems to be a little bit of confusion as to who the dive target is. Blessed Shield comes out from DeWitt. Pina Colada slides through. Krinavas getting relatively low, however, spinning. That spin getting the health back. Pina Colada gets hit by a full combo by Li Ming, but also barely lives. Krinavas decided to back out as well as Pina Colada. And this should be, again, an Immortal phase going over to the side. Maybe not. Going over to the side of Zul'jin Distillery. I was expected to go top again, as was explained before. We see less health in this lane, in terms of structures, as opposed to this lane, which still is a full fort as opposed to a half health fort. Krinavas actually gets caught out relatively early, is getting collapsed on, and will get hit by a lot of damage. Anduin is able to save him. They did barely survive. We do see 20s coming through from the side of... I nearly called them a completely wrong name, ICCR first, meaning they do have that extra fight. I do believe we did see Iron Skin pop by Krinavas, but they do not have out. DeWitt getting Curse Bullet and having to back out. Excellent Leap Light Bomb onto B-Fresh. B-Fresh does actually back out safely. Krinavas getting relatively low as they do have Artanis' Space Beam on it and goes down to it. Pina Colada also getting relatively low. Chromie Slowing Sands actually will slow down the enemy team enough where they cannot collapse on Pina Colada. And that will be Artanis yet taking out another. Pina Colada now getting hit, propulsed back into the team, and that will be them falling. Death Mosh comes out. However, Greymane is not able to follow up too much on it. B-Fresh will go down, get low, but unfortunately a little bit too slow damage by the Greymane. And we are likely to see a 5-man push to... Brightwing, I'm assuming, is going to phase shift back in a few seconds. Yep, there it is. Yep, and we do see the call falling relatively quick. Not much a solo Anduin can do, but that will be the first round over to Zul'jin Distillery. Excellent first round. I have to go get a drink of water, but we will be right back shortly. Right. Let's quickly go over some stats real quick, just because it should be important to talk. I should talk about it realistically. Again, we saw that the team fight advantage was coming out from the side of Nope, again, went to go say the wrong name. ICCR. We did see that the comp was very full. However, the race comp, the objective style comp from Zul'jin Distillery just proved a slight bit too much in the end. And here are talents, just quickly for anyone who wants to see them. If you want to try out any of these heroes, here are some good talents for it. And now I will be setting up the next map and will have to mute myself again, sorry. Right. As we can see here, we have decided to go to a Shire map. Let's not stall for too long and let's get straight into the match. Right. Welcome. Oh, I forgot to push play. There we go. Right. Welcome everyone to map 2 of our ICCR vs Zul'jin Distillery game. On the left-hand side, we see Sins7E. I still don't know how to say that name. On the Anduin, Pina Colada on Muradin this time. Chelsea on Junkrat, Xerxes on Raynor, and what did that well do to you, Chelsea? There's no need to shoot it. And Krenovast on the Imperius. I like it. On the left-hand side, we see a very present Cowboy Kyle on Rexar, a very powerful hero on this map. DeWitt is now on the ETC. Be Fresh on Tychus. Ankle Shot on Hanzo. And Led on Vistukov. Okay. Oh, it's happening again. DeWitt just taking a little bit of poke damage from that Junkrat start with, as traps do give vision of this map. We do see Misha eat it. However, will not be doing any stun and decides to walk backwards. Excellent clear coming out from both sides, as we do see the actual clear coming out from ICCR first, as they should be able to start rotation. We do see that Rexar is rotating their way up before Chronovast. And now, however, we do see a little bit of skirmishing actually happening here. Pina Colada just getting some hits in, making sure that their presence is felt. I am apparently clicked on a gate. Oh. FT rotations continue as we do see blue getting not quite collapsed upon, but we do have a very usually cookie cutter start to how this is done. It's just a little bit of skirmishing, but largely you want to clear the waves. However, as soon as camps come up, you do typically see people want to try and start them. Let's have a quick look at builds, shall we? We see Exterminator Raynor. Okay, so this is Dynasty Standard. Third Wind from Muradin. Muradin used to have a stacking Q, well, it still does have a stacking Q talent, however, it now stacks on auto attacks, and people do agree that it isn't fantastic. Excellent dash by Bfresh, keeping them to safety. W from Imperius. You don't see this one as often as either the trait or the Q talent. However, it can pay off quite a lot. Blow him up from Junkrat. Relatively standard again. We did see it on the last one, so we can either see the trap build or the mine build here, and Power Word Shield from the Anduin. Very good burst, anti-burst talent, as it adds a small shield onto the W of that when it comes out for anyone it hits. And on the right hand side, we do see that the main stacking talent to note is the Scatter Arrow from Hanzo. And a good thing to, and a very interesting talent here that you don't see much picked up as tank. ETC is the Guitar Hero. You see this much more in the offlane build, but it may have been buffed recently. I'm not sure. I don't play ETC much anymore. Okay. We see talents coming through both sides, and interesting from Anduin, we see the Piercing Light. Some people in the community decided that it's not good. Some people decide they love it. Essentially, it is a stacking quest whenever your Anduin's Chastise hits 2 people. It can give 1% spell power bonus up to a maximum of 10%. And we do see on the right-hand side, in the rhythm from Tychus, which is just the more he hits people, the longer his minigun goes. And we see the Globe quest from Rexar. Just a very standard one nowadays. It's much safer than any of the others. Okay, very good by the side of Zul'jin Distillery. They did flip the Dragonite over in time, so Chelsea was not able to get it in mid. We do see up in top lane a little bit of bullying coming out on Misha here. I'm going to have to call some sort of wildlife protection services, as Chronovast is just abusing this poor, helpless bear who definitely won't murder you, according to both Rexar and Misha. We see a ping coming out bottom as we do see that someone's on the way. Excellent slide by DeWitt as we see a fair bit of damage coming out. However, a lot of sustain is on the side of ICCR. Pina Colada decided to jump to objective to get that channel over. Excellent silence by Lead, being able to just cancel out that third wind coming in a bit more. Okay, we see objectives coming over from the side of ICCR. However, with Tigers here, Chelsea will not be able to channel it for the current point in time. Interesting note that this Rexar is struggling a little bit against the Imperius, who we did see pick up Holy Fervor, a talent that very much helps with wave clear. Typically on these maps, Rexar is probably one of the most dominant heroes due to, well, Rexar being able to clear a wave while Misha is on point, or vice versa. However, Chronovast is handling it very well. Back down the bottom as we see health dropping very low into Wit. However, Stukov does get the healing burst off, as that is what they talented in for 4, the extra burst heal. But we should notice that Tychus should get a bit more minigun stacks here, however, has been soaking most of the time. We do see now a man advantage showing bottom as Pina Colada. It's still relatively low, however, ETC does slide in. Pina Colada will not have hammer up and available. So we see a very good, very interesting first opening of the stage. We do see the side of ICCR, again, channeling this objective, as Rexar has not been really able to step onto this point so far, due to the amount of damage Chronovast is putting out on that Imperius. But we see DeWitt being thrown back off the point, and we will see the side of Zul'jin Distillery channeling it over. Excellent by Xerxes, is able to get this siege camp during this scuffle, as we do see Exterminator does again help against those mercenaries, getting them out relatively quick. Good jump by Pina Colada, hitting the stun on lead, cancelling out the silence. However, ETC does slide back through Pina Colada, stopping the harassment of lead. Hanzo does get scatter off. It's very good time for this, actually. I don't do it very fast normally, but I'm also not a good Hanzo. Pina Colada is forced to jump out, walks back into the silence, is getting dropped by B Fresh, however, will hang on with just a little bit of health as they are healed up by the Anduin throughout all of that. DeWitt getting relatively low as well, however, Stukov, excellent sustained healing, taking a lot of damage. Pina Colada hits the hammer on him. Junkrat unfortunately puts at ankle shot away, but gets the kill anyway on the Stukov. And we do see that now that this has happened, the side of ICCR has decided to push their advantage, getting in that tower. However, we do see Tens have come through for the side of Solution to Story. However, ETC goes down. Excellent considering that the ICCR was down 10s, and that was an interesting arrow. It does at least hit the target, does at least do a stun, but doesn't really have a follow-up to do anything. Chelsea was really wanting this objective, trying to keep B Fresh off of him. Excellent route, able to hit one, and they do get the Dragonite over. That will be the first Dragonite going over to ICCR. We see it being walked bot. As was discussed in an earlier cast, bot lane is very much considered the win condition on this map, as there are 2 siege camps and 1 bruiser camp down here that can push into this fort. Dragonite getting very low very quick, as Tykes' minigun does actually get stacks off of this DK. B Fresh is starting to look much more healthy on what they've been missing out on, as they've been solo soaking mid most of the time. Dragonite will fall, was able to get front gate more or less, but nothing too much came from it, unfortunately. See again, a lot of this small scuffle, a lot of small fighting. Just DeWitt just moves back down. Just have relatively good team fight comps. A little bit more macro with Xerxes going Exterminate. Actually, no, we see Hyperion coming out. Pina Colada does use jump, misses. Riptire finds DeWitt in the bush. DeWitt actually getting stunned. Light Bomb coming out, gets stunned. Stun doesn't quite come off from Light Bomb as ETC falls down first. Excellent arrow by Dragon Arrow to actually lock down the backline of ICCR, but Zul'jin Distillery it came out a bit late, and that is again just another ult used by Hanzo that may have been used at a better time. Pina Colada actually hits hammer onto B Fresh, but does not have a damage follow-up. Junkrat looks like he's going to go get mid-sock, yep, and has a nice mine zoning for them. Not mine, trap, and we do actually see trap build. This build can be very annoying. This is a very heavily rotated through area, and these traps moving around following you, doing actually a sizable chunk of damage. It does up to 8%. No, it only hits heroes and actually does a lot of damage. It will actually zone very well as we see DeWitt forced to run away from it. Oh, we see a potential gank hanging up on the Imperius. Imperius, however, decided to back out. No. Excellent stun chain. We're getting a lot of CC. Excellent charge by the spear by Krinivas. Krinivas, however, will go down before they're able to get to the gate. Excellent gank by the side of Zul'jin Distillery. Ouch. This is turning into a very interesting series. I wonder if this will also be a map free. Part of me hopes not. I'm getting tired, but I really enjoy a free map series as they're very competitive throughout the whole time. Having a quick look around, we do see the side of us. I said R again. It's ICCR deciding to drop Hyperion to get at least a bit more push onto this keep. DeWitt decided to slide through. Excellent W, able to peel Pina Colada off of them before they're able to stun. Very good, just doing that. Oh, these traps. This is when this starts to get very painful. Double trap means there's a lot of zoning potential from Junkrat. As we see this trap moving out towards them out of a bush. We see the silence coming out, Pina Colada, and that is a missed arrow. Anyway, back to the action. We see Pinky coming out. Junkrat resets the trap, able to get it back in the bush, and we do see at least both objectives now over. We heard Rexar's ult going off actually, as Krinivas does spear onto Cowboy Carl, actually taking a lot of damage here. We do see spears actually running out of time before they're able to go off. Krinivas is low, being chased out by the Misha. Cowboy Carl, however, has decided not to go after them, and we see the second objective again go over to the side of ICCR, who decides to actually push mid this time with it. So we'll see what actually the plan for Zul'jin Distillery is. Whether they decide to go defend down here against the Freeman, or defend up here against the Dragon Knight. And we see them rotate onto the Dragon Knight. Let's see how... Oh, maybe not. I do like this play, just actually pushing this building. It's low enough where these 3 people alone can get it. The Dragon Knight is able to get mid-keep as well, fort as well, and is able to safely back out. They are not in any immediate danger. Imperius, however, very aggressive, but has not shown. Cowboy Carl does actually scout them out, and is able to chase them off. Excellent stun coming out, excellent stun chain, and that unfortunately will be Rek'Sai going down. Pina Colada is stepping up. Oh, the Mind putting B-Fresh back in, and that will be our Hunky Tigers going down. Pina Colada did look to keep going with that CC chain, but DeWitt pushing back the Mirrodin before too much could happen. We are likely about to see the Dragon Knight going down here, as it's 2% left, 2 seconds left, and that is the Dragon Knight down. Excellent phase from the side of ICCR as they're able to get a fort mid as well as a lot of a fort bottom. And we see Anduin indicating that his light bomb is almost ready, and we see a lot of ults actually ready on the side of ICCR. They also have a talent advantage. Very important of this map. This map can sometimes snowball a little bit if you have a talent advantage, but that's the same for every map. However, this building is getting relatively low, and there's nowhere to heal up the team. Pina Colada, very smart jump, able to get him out to safety. Ankle shot going very low, and will go down actually to the light bomb damage itself. Excellent Hyperion, and that will be the bottom fort going over to the side of ICCR. Be Fresh able to dash out. The W from ETC, the Encore, which lowers the cooldown of Mosh, able to peel and get out his allies. I do like this call to keep pushing with this spell armor, this Bruiser camp, as the spell armor is actually very helpful into a lot of this damage. Excellent jump by Pina Colada, able to get out to safety, and they are deciding to back out. Tyre hits 2, hits a tower, does a reasonable amount of damage, but ultimately just used as more a deterrent. I like this zoning. I like where Pina Colada is standing. Excellent hammer. The trap does hit. However, you see not in any immediate danger, as both of the damage dealers on the side of ICCR decide to rotate out. We see here now actually in top lane, considering how much advantage Krenavast had early in the game, we do see not ETC, my word, everything's an Elite Tauren Chieftain now. We do see Rek'Sai actually hit their spell spike of 13, is actually able now to bully out the Imperius, someone who is known for being a lane bully. I do like the Bruiser camp coming out. While Misha and Rek'Sai do have pretty good wave clear, they don't have the best camp clear, especially with this build that they went with Bird of Prey at 1. It only does bonus damage to minions, but not mercenaries. Krenavast looked to go in. Oh, ETT went down bottom lane. I got too distracted by the off lane. The offlaner in me is showing again. Oh no. But ETT going down means that this bottom objective will go over relatively freely to the side of ICCR, and we're looking for a third consecutive turn-in. We do see Chelsea rotating up early. However, we do see B-Fresh setting up to potentially stall this. Pina Colada, however, will be running at them and misses the hammer. The leap will actually get the light bomb on top of him. B-Fresh losing a reasonable amount of health. Riptide going in. B-Fresh taking a lot of damage from us. We lost Rex. We lost Misha actually up top. B-Fresh actually dodging, ducking, diving and dodging again, but unable to get out as Pina Colada gets the jump off and is able to get them down. Looks like that blue team is looking to run down this building for now, as Chelsea is looking to, again, channel that DK, getting the third consecutive DK over. I do like the taking of that building. We're getting passive pressure now, and passive experience advantage now for beside ICCR in every lane. I do like that we're starting to push this in now. We do see actually just a siege mid. Probably not what's usually recommended, but I do like it considering that's just where the whole team was. Good silent circle by Led, however, not really, much has done. And we see Storm Talents coming out from the side of ICCR. We do see the Hyperion upgrade. We see now that Anduin's Chastise now also stuns. Upgrades to Spears on Imperius. Rewind on Mirrodin. And we're just seeing what Junkrat is to go, as he is just a bit busy sieging right now. Save a beer. Save a beer. Good. Don't want that bear hurt. She is a very precious creature. Okay, we get pings out from Pina Colada as Dragonite is also coming down. However, getting a bit low, 13%. Should be able to get at least one Flame Breath off on a wave. And barely does it before they go down. Mosh is back up, and it should be important to note now, however, they are fighting down 20s. Good Silence Fry led. However, the side of ICCR chooses to disengage. They realize they don't need to fight. They do see this camp coming up, but decide to keep rotating upwards, wanting to bruise the camp instead. Maybe not the most important camp in the world, as this bridge is a very hard choke point to push through. More they would just be removing it off the map, just so the side of Zul'jin Distillery cannot pick it up themselves. DeWitt playing very aggressive here. Pina Colada, excellent jump, does not actually quite connect onto anything. This is very aggressive. DeWitt does actually manage to get this camp over. Does wall slide through with the crowd surfer at 4. I did not realize that, however, puts himself in a very dangerous situation. Only Krinivast is hit by Dragon Arrow and has to pop Angelic Armaments to save themselves. DeWitt able to get out yet again. Misha also able to get out, and that was very good ult trades. A very good save by both sides, actually, in fact. Okay. Angle shot just picking it. Just slowly harassing Pina Colada. They can't really do much but to remove the spear light bomb combo, actually meaning ETC goes down very quick. No 20s through from the side of Zul'jin Distillery, so we don't see anything like Death Metal, sorry, is the actual name of it. And we do see a very hard siege coming in from the side of ICCR. So we are likely to see this keep go down and a disengage. Yep. And that is indeed what we see. We see Tigers getting hit by a trap. Also, Stukov getting hit by a trap. Such a problem. I know what these heroes are called normally, but at this point I'm just staring at them going, ah yes, you. You are definitely a Raynor, I see, sir. But I can't remember its Raynor in the moment. Anyway, let's zoom right back out so we can get back to the action. We see red team is staying, both teams are playing very safe at the moment, as we see 20s are about to come through for the side of Zul'jin Distillery. Okay, I like the rotation from Krinivast, very safe considering they do not know where any of Zul'jin Distillery are. Xerxia playing very aggressive compared to where their tank is. They do actually know. No, tank is not with them. We do see the death metal. I did actually call that one coming through. So now if EC dies, he will mosh at his location, an uninterruptible mosh in fact. Excellent CC train onto Pina Colada. Pina Colada is actually able to dodge the Dragon Arrow that sails through. Krinivast coming through, hitting the back line. Will get dropped relatively quick. Angelic Armaments has to come out, saving him. Misha is getting very aggressive, takes a lot of damage and goes down to the Reptile. Pina Colada jumps onto DeWitt. DeWitt losing a lot of their health. DeWitt going down. Death Mosh, however, does happen in a not very helpful spot for them. Right, we are probably likely to see Dragonite being channeled over here. Oh no, that will be the Tychus going down, and that may be the nail in the coffin, as we only have 3 to defend. The siege camp was pushing in, a lot of catters, and a basically 19-minute Dragonite doing a lot of scale damage onto this core. Pina Colada does an excellent jump, hits Lead, however, the Krinivast hits the spear on an ankle shot. Lead going down and will go down before this. Krinivast taking a lot of damage from the core, able to back out, even with Misha harassing them. Core dropping 60%. As we don't see the defense quite coming out this time for the side of Zul'jin Distillery. That will be the map, and it lead us to a map free between these two close teams. That seemed a bit more one-sided in the last game. However, we should still get a good series out of both teams. Let's look at some stats really quick before I take another quick break for water. Right. Just another quick look. We see a lot of healing, very comparable healing coming out from both sides. Stukov barely having the edge on Anduin. However, Imperius was doing a lot of damage throughout that and was able to beat out for Rexar in the top lane. Something not a lot of heroes can actually do. I'm going to be honest. I questioned this talent 1. I questioned Consuming Flame. I was proven wrong, and I will admit, I'll be first to admit. Well done, Krinivast. You used a talent that we do not see often and did very well with it. Anduin didn't complete Piercing Light, but however, it turned out wasn't needed in the end. Right, I'll hit a quick break while I load up the next map, have some water, and we will be right back in a few moments. Right. We see the last map is Cursed Hollow. So, let's get right into the action, shall we? When I remember to transition the scene, like a good caster would. Right. Here we go. Final map of the set. And final map for my cast this evening. We see DeWitt on a Tyrael. Oh my word, we're getting a very good start. I'm just thrown off by a Tyrael. I have not seen it much. Be fresh on the... Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Teams, why do you do this? Give me a moment. Swap team sides. Right. Now that has been fixed, some would say, we will get back into playing the game. When I actually tab over the right thing. Right. On the side of Zul'jin Distillery, we see Cowboy Kyle on the Diva, Be Fresh on Raynor, Led on Ufa. Ah! Oh, I get an Ufa game. Someone loves me. I know I wasn't the caster originally, but Led, I love you. DeWitt on the Tyrael, and Ankle Shot on the Hanzo yet again. On the right hand side, we have Pina Colada on the Muradin, Krinavast on Dahaka, Xerxes on back on the Greymane, Chelsea on Asmodan, the Asmodunk in fact, and Zin 70 on the right wing. We do see a ton coming out, a lot of actually abilities traded off, but not much damage actually fully connecting here as well. It is again an early fight. Good dunk by the side from Chelsea actually, but we don't see anyone going down here. Right, let's have a quick look at talents, as that is actually very important, especially this map. We see a tankier Dahaka this time. We actually don't see the move speed one. Yes, speed Haka, but we do see tissue regeneration, meaning it's going to be much more tanky. We do have a team fight talent from Asmodan, Gluttony. Whenever it hits a hero, it gives 4 stacks as opposed to 3 for his baseline, which is Annihilation. And on the right hand side, we see Silver Touch coming out from Ufa. So we're likely to see again a Holy Shock build actually. It has a lot of self-sustain for Ufa, as well as it does actually have a reasonable amount of healing. We see a phase shift coming out from Brightwing onto Xerxes, helping the camp. However, DeWitt looking to invade here. But is he feeling brave? Is he feeling brave? He's going in circles. He's decided against it. I would too as well. I had to rotate down to make sure it wasn't invaded upon. However, the Stormbolt does not hit DeWitt as they were mounted at the time. Chelsea just waddles away, decides to point the laser beam at DeWitt, but doesn't do much. We did see Be Fresh did get out this top camp while that was happening. We just have an interesting matchup down here. Krinavast not doing too hot into Ankle Shot, but they are playing this very safe. They're freezing at the gate, something we do not see often, and I actually appreciate a lot seeing this type of play. In the top hand lane, we do see Pina Colada facing off with Cowboy Kyle. We do see Chelsea actually pushing up. Gets the dunk onto Cowboy Kyle, doing a decent amount of damage to the Diva, and actually getting rid of a lot of a wave. Whoops. Again, very safe openings from both teams. Just getting soaked, getting camps, making sure to get that pressure on. Should mention here that the first that is the wrong map. The first objective is Tribute, that's what it's called. The first Tribute is being called right now. Should be important to note that Dahaka does have a distinct advantage given on the map, as they are able to burrow up to this objective. Thank you to their Brushstalker ability. It means they can stay here longer, get the extra soak, and maybe get 7s and then come up, or they can start walking up now to the objective, which they have not decided to do, and then Brushstalker back. And here we see that actually Ankle Shot is having to make a choice whether they go up to fight with a team, or they have to clear this. And we're deciding to clear, because Greymane now is showing mid, as we do see Brightwing trying to channel this over. Muradin's in a bit of an awkward situation, just walking backwards and forwards, as we see DeWitt just pushing up, getting the sword out. Chelsea, however, not feeling any real problem, as there isn't much CC outside of Led here. Excellent dunk onto the 2 backlines. However, Be Fresh is able to get the objective. No, not quite. Pina Colada, excellent jump, cancelling the channel. Phase Shift has to come out onto Pina Colada to help them up, because Phase Shift by the Brightwing. A lot of damage starting to come out on the side of... Oh, yeah, they swap sides, make it far more difficult for me. ICCR actually just able to force this team off, as we did see Krinavast on that Dahaka did eventually burrow up, and we now do have a 5-man advantage. Xerxes will start to turn over, but lose his W bonus as well. That is unfortunately how the talent works. Excellent fight. Actually, D.Va gets demech'd. Very good for the side of ICCR, as even that one little D.Va demech is still half a hero worth of experience. Anyway, we do hear a half coming out from the side of blue, as we do see DeWitt backing. Hanzo was able to get a little bit of value actually down there during the time, as experience is still relatively even, as Dahaka has to take the Waddle of Shane back to bottom. However, we do see that, if we have a look at them real quick, they have Brush Stalker will be back up by the time objective is up. Very unfortunate timing for... Very unfortunate for Zul'jin Distillery. However, not the end of the world. We do see actually a heavy push coming here as Sin70... Sin70? I don't know how to say their name still. I'm sorry if I've been butchering it the whole time. It is what it is. Cowboy Carl does get hit by Pina Colada's hammer, however does not lose their mech this time. My god, I'm sorry about my voice. I guess I will be ending after this, thankfully. DeWitt getting hit. Oh, Led getting excellent stun onto Pina Colada. Pina Colada did get cancelled out of jump, losing their health very slowly, and the Q from Raynor does take them down. It does mean there has to be a disengage from the side of ICCR, but no, they decide to go back in. Krinavast taking a lot of damage, has to burrow, cancelling the phase shift out from Brightwing. However, Trait does heal them up, basically back to 2/3 health. Dunk doesn't hit anyone, and that will probably be this objective over to the side of Zul'jin Distillery. Excellent fights happening here. Sins, I'm just calling you Sins from now on. Zins. Just Zins. I love saying that, I'm going to be honest. I'm getting a bit distracted just going Zins. Okay. Did check that bush to make sure the rotation was safe, but however will help Greymane do the camp. We do now have Asmo fighting Cowboy Carl, and that actually isn't the worst matchup. Excellent. Early first boss will get a good advantage, however. Before 7-minute mark is often seen as a bit questionable, as 7 minutes is when the boss truly starts to back a bunch. As you can see, it's actually getting melted by the side of Zul'jin Distillery at the moment. The 10s coming through at the same time, and we should know that now Muradin, with a recent change, maybe not too recent anymore, but a relatively recent change, does get Piercing Hammer immediately at 10. Let's have a quick look at ults. We have Isolation from Dahaka adding an extra silence. Greymane have Curse Bullet. Blink heal out from Brightwing. Muradin with Avatar, and Asmodan continuing the team fight trend with Tide of Sin. We did see Dahaka was able to get Cowboy Carl's mech there. On the left-hand side of Zul'jin Distillery, we see Sanctification out. With coordinated play, this is actually a very powerful on an AoE invul. We do see Dragon Strike coming out from Hanzo, which is seeing more and more popularity. However, Zins is able to get objective over before the side of Zul'jin Distillery is able to even contest. Bunny Hop from D.Va, starting to see it a bit more. It was not a popular talent for a while. Actually, in fact, in both iterations of D.Va, it has been the lesser pick talent, but can work out in the stun comp, which we do actually see here with Uther going Divine Storm. Ankle Shot using the Dragon early, however, does not get much, as there is no lockdown to really follow up in it. And one last thing to note is Hyperion from Raynor, which gets thrown out now. My throat's getting very dry. This is going to be a very awkward cast for people to listen back to, but I want to give back to the community. Okay, good anti-pressure gained there from the side of Zul'jin Distillery. We should mention that there was a boss in this lane, and, well, even with that boss happening, ICCR has managed to get more pressure in this lane so far, as we see the fort difference with this being at half and this still being at full. We do see an early setup here from ICCR, as they are ready for this objective while the side of Zul'jin Distillery rotating up. Pina Colada did manage to stun and DeWitt for a little bit, however does not actually stall them out for too long, as objectives are only coming up now. D.Va charges in. Make sure to get on Krinavast. Sins is trying their best to get off. D.Va Bunny Hop comes out, is getting a few stuns off. Cowboy Carl will lose. No, they actually pop mech just before it goes down. Very close though. A lot of sustained damage coming out from the side, and that's we see Hanzo's Scatterbill come out. Excellent hammer by Muradin, actually able to stop Uther in their tracks, and Uther goes down early. A late Sanctification, however, Uther, when dead, is still able to heal. And actually healing is buffed in this mode. Hanzo is able to take out Dahaka, and that will be... No, not quite. Brightwing has decided that stalling it is preferable. Excellent dunk by Asmodan, also stalling it out. We have many people actually channeling this now. Lodge's Cursed Bullet coming out. Zeus is able to take out Raynor in just basically 2 button pushes. That was a lot. That is Diva Mech going down. Is Diva going to be able to get out as well? No. She is. We do actually see that that value coming out from Tyrael. Yes, Tyrael. That whenever his basically passive goes up for one where he blows up, for each hero hit, he gets a 10% cooldown reduction on his death timer. So he's actually able to respawn before the Raynor, even though he died after it. Coming into this now curse phase, we see that it's much easier for the side of ICCR to actually siege in here. As we see, oh! No, okay, I'm seeing that weirdly. Okay, we're seeing the auto attack talent at 7 from Chelsea. Very interesting. You typically see this with I can't remember what order it is, but the green orb build that leans more heavily into auto attack. I do like this AoE stun there coming out from Lead, and Dragon's actually doing a relatively good job at splitting the team. Hanzo getting a very good scatter onto Xerxes, however does not quite take him down, and that will be top 4 over to the side of ICCR. We do see Dahaka is actually trying to push in mid here as well. Has gotten a decent amount, including the front gate down. DeWitt, however, has decided to stop that and go, no, 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 no. My fault, not yours. As Dahaka, not Dahaka. This is Dahaka now, according to me. I just want that known. As Asmodan does get dunked to finish off that wave just before Quest comes through. Very smart here of Zul'jin Distillery checking boss. Actually, they may be considering doing it. Something they can actually do with their comp as Sanctification is up. Making it very hard for ICCR to find a point. Tongue doesn't hit anyone. Curse Bullet does come out, hitting DeWitt. DeWitt going very low, and there is the Sanctification, giving everyone invuln in that small area. DeWitt's getting still very low, however we may see... barely holds on. Asmodan dunk, not quite enough to finish him off. Uther topping him up, barely enough. Cutting it very close here. Cutting it very, very close. Anyway, stun coming out, actually chasing them off. Camp has been pushing through mid this whole time, as that's where Zul'jin Distillery has decided to retreat to. DeWitt getting very low. Good Divine Storm keeping the team of Icecrown Citadel Raiders off of him. Cowboy Carl getting low. This excellent bomb from Tyrael hitting 2, lowering that cooldown yet again. That death timer yet again. I like the aggressive play. I like the idea of stealing boss here. Considering that Zul'jin Distillery do not have their tank, ICCR does know that they can push in and tear this boss relatively quickly without any fear of Ethereal Sank or Hallowed Ground pushing them off the objective. Now let's see what they decide to do with this. They know they don't have to go to objective, and they do have a boss up, as the side of Zul'jin Distillery only has 1 curse up. They don't actually have to channel it immediately, nor does the side of ICCR have to channel it immediately, as they do have this boss pushing and will not get cursed if Zul'jin Distillery does in fact get it. However, we do see Dahaka posturing by it, as we know that he does have he may have his global value up and can actually burrow. About here. Here's the closest. Boss does get at least front gate down, but will get burnt down by the side of, well, the blue side. Because Zul'jin Distillery, saying it over and over, is turning out to be a relative mouthful. But we accept it and we move on. Okay, I do like that they're taking their Bruiser camp. However, we do see boss started by the side of ICCR. Getting pulled through relatively full, as we do again see the attack speed bonus coming out from Xerxes. It does a lot to pull through any objective or any boss or any camp, like how this is getting torn apart. My word. We see an early stun coming out from DeWitt. Excellent zoning from Pina Colada, as it just keeps him off boss. It may not have mattered considering how late they were, but it did ultimately matter, as they were saved a little bit of hassle with a team fight. I do like that ICCR is clearing out the mid camp and actually is rotating onto this bruiser. Pina Colada does jump in early, misses his hammer. Hallowed ground coming out from Tyrael. Yes, Tyrael keeps him off the point. Dragon did a lot of damage to Pina Colada there, took about half his health and half his health from the said dragon. Okay, we see this W talent get picked up by Raynor again. I'm very interested in why this talent over some of the others, as we have recently seen the Q talent picked up a lot due to its damage bonus as well as it heals 90% of a damage dealt. In saying that though, we do see it heavily more into the auto attack side of the game. Zion's deciding to pick up the objective early, as well as Pina Colada and DeWitt holding high. DeWitt actually teleporting in is actually taking a lot of damage. Saint comes out to save themselves. However, will have to disengage as once that is down, will get hit by the dunk, and unfortunately, that will be enough to kill. And unfortunately for Tyrael this time, bomb does not hit enough to get any reasonable cooldown. Diva unfortunately going down to the middle of the team. Cowboy Kyle will lose all their health. What will happen here? Will ICCR decide to go court? They'll at least decide to chase here. Led, excellent dodge while mounted. The dunk will happen to hit them. However, we will see a keep taken here. We'll see if more decides to happen. Excellent dunk by Krenavast. That may be the nail in coffin, as there is now only 2 alive to defend. B-Fresh and Angle Shot taking a huge amount of damage. That's Chromie. Not Chromie? That Brightwing Q actually having a silence on it at 16 that we now see. Pina Colada getting very aggressive, and that will be the Raynor going down, and that will likely be the end of the game, as Xerxes, a very fast auto attack hero on core, will be mounted. Pina Colada is taking a lot of damage. Brightwing keeping him up for a little bit, however, them going down, but ultimately, that is the map and the series going over to the side of ICCR, and that is an excellent reverse sweep to watch. Let's just open up stats real quick. Right. We see Ufa did reasonable amount of healing. Like, Ufa is actually quite a hard healer to pull off in a lot of solo heal Ufa comps, as he has a few weaknesses, and unfortunately Azmodan with their large burst and poke deals really does numbers against him. However, they did try their best, and in the end we did see the kill advantage did go over to the side of ICCR, as they took the lead in kills and experience. As we did see the Azmodan do a lot of soak, even though Dahaka was also very close. The closest on the side of Zul'jin Distillery was Diva. Ultimately, we did see that the general style of ICCR was they wanted to fight, and ultimately these last 2 maps lent into their philosophy of fight. I want to this is a wonderful series to cast for reverse sweep, for excellent back and forth, and actually quite a few situations led to a lot of fun moments for me. Let's just show some talents real quick, just in case anyone is interested, and then we'll transition over to what shall be my closing screen. And as we see here, that it was ICCR to win the last map. I want to thank anyone who came out and watching the stream. I, however, am quite tired, as it's hit just past midnight for me, and I would like to go to bed. I would like to wish everyone watching these, whether it be live or recorded, have a good day, evening, depending on what time you watch it. And I shall continue to see you in the Nexus.